It is a blue blood Big Ten SEC battle here at AT&T Stadium.
Ohio State is back on track. We're finally done hearing about Oregon.
Of all the playoff teams, the Buckeyes have played the fewest snaps of all of them. And Chip Kelly says that is by design. They've been preparing for this extended 12-team playoff like the NFL.
Charles Huff will have to have a lot more than unlimited amounts of Tudor's biscuits to score in this one. I'm laying the points with Ohio State.
Coach, it's great to see you here. How's it going with you and Coach Day, a couple national champion head coaches on the Lynx?
So I got a little Buckeye in me, so it's great.
And seeing how, it's a different environment after winning a national championship. You have plenty of those of your own, 7 to count after Ryan Day got his first. A little bit of a pep in his step. What was it like getting that first one?
Deal with the success that comes with winning, and that'll be the challenge for him and his team this year.
He does have a quarterback battle ahead, and you recruited Julian Sayin. He transferred to Ohio State upon your retirement. What makes him a competitor in this race?
Just 53 rushing yards for the Longhorns last week against Arizona State. And they go up against Ohio State's top 5 rush defense. That put Oregon in the negatives in the Rose Bowl. You guys collectively had these conversations to where you are right now, national championship media days. What would you say to all those guys who were making that decision in that moment?
Yeah.
This being your last game as a Buckeye,
Yeah.
What do you think you'll say to them? Have you thought about that yet? They have no passing threat whatsoever. Cade McNamara is averaging just over 112 yards passing per game. He has 2 interceptions, and he has yet to throw a touchdown.
Jordan Hancock actually told me that he loves playing defense in windy games, but the forecast only has the winds getting up to 12 miles per hour. So that shouldn't be a factor in this one.
All 5 starters going into the first matchup against Oregon, losing 2 starters going into this one, and lots of changes as well. What is your confidence level in that?
O-line is very easy.
I can't speak on it. I've never played offensive line, but I don't think it's easy.
This is the team that you have to beat, and this fan base is brutal to him.
How did it feel hearing that loud of cheering for Ryan Day after all that he has been through this season? I talked with Jim Knowles, and he gave a lot of emphasis on how much of a veteran group this is. Having experience really pays dividends when it comes to these big games.
Tons of line movement in this game.
Yeah.
Probably as much movement as we've seen on the Ohio State offensive line as of late.
Center Seth McLaughlin, who suffered an Achilles injury at practice Tuesday. That is the second starter on the Ohio State offensive line to go out for the season. But that does not make Seth any less impactful. He showed up right back at practice to support his team because Carson Hintzman has relied on him throughout the changes that unit has made. It really seems like Chip was having fun with this offense. He was cracking jokes about how the best part of being a coordinator versus a head coach, being up in the box rather than the sideline, is that you can use the bathroom in between series. You grew up thinking of Cardale Jones as the quarterback. He said, I feel old. Do you feel old coming back here?
A little bit.
Tennessee Orange, they showed up.
Things are dancing. They got some bling to them.
I saw your hand shaking a
little bit. Glad to be out here with all my teammates, all my guys, one last time.
Yeah, and seeing you guys have all these reunions and being a part, but coming back for such a great moment like this. Are you ready to move on from Ohio State? It's tough to do.
It is definitely tough.
There's so many stories on this team, but yours is probably the most powerful. Switching positions in the middle of the season and just looking at how that unit went through so much, but you really powered through it. How do you feel going into this next chapter? Ross Chastain, the champion of the Coca-Cola 600. We were just chatting. Are you getting sick of this yet? Are you still celebrating?
Absolutely not, Stephanie. This to seeing how many legends of the sport won that race for so long.
And doing it in a historical fashion. Starting last and finishing first. Just really speaks to the culture of Trackhouse. Can you just speak on working on that car all night? What do you think it is that's getting everyone so bought in? These green flag pit cycles are critical here, and you've had some ups and downs with the pit crew. Praise them at Darlington, and then the fueling issue in Charlotte last week. Where's your confidence with them?
They're the best.
Grand slam for Michael Chandler, team captain. Catching his breath still.
Still catching his breath. I tell you what, I needed it. 3 more innings.
Does the cigars indicate you're already calling the win?
Oh yeah, pretty much.
You have the same energy as us because we have crazy fans and you always have tons of energy.
Yeah. I want you to take a swig.
It's like holy water?
Championship water.
I don't know if that's water. I don't think that's water.
Yeah, straight from the ground.
No ranked opponents other than Ohio State. Is this do or die for them?
Lots of praise for the state of Ohio from President Donald Trump. Obviously, Vice President J.D. Vance, an alumni from Ohio State, big Buckeye fan.
The players are also keeping the coaches accountable, and those conversations have been real and authentic. We heard players saying that they held their coaches accountable and
That's such an open line of communication. How is that unique to other universities you've been to? Would you have felt comfortable as a freshman telling him when you thought something should have been different or keeping him accountable? He even said that he'll try to rattle him at practice, but well, we'll just say, don't worry, coach, I got this. The people in this building all look to you as their leader, and you come in and you command the offense. Was there a moment where you felt like you really won them over? You spoke about how significant it was for them to get a mobile QB. Looking at him, what are the keys to this offense for Chip Kelly? The Buckeyes have arrived in California for their rematch against Oregon. Part of playing a football game at a baseball field is the teams will actually be spending halftime right here in the dugout. It's been an all business mindset, all playoffs. Players have acknowledged that's just what playoffs do. But some of them have never seen Coach Day like this before. Coach Day has talked about how he struggled with the losses to this team, but you only have one on your record. Can you talk about the weight that game holds? The roads were tough. It took twice as long. There were cars piled up on the side of the road. It was scary going about 25 miles per hour, so make sure you plan ahead. One thing that Ryan Day said he's preparing for is Josh Heupel's high-tempo offense. And what they've done is prepare the scout team and train them to run tempo. We keep hearing from Coach Day, Chip Kelly, about how it is a battle of attrition in this 12-team playoff, and that is coming to fruition here in the postseason. Ohio State has played slower on offense, and that was by design. They were playing the fewest snaps of any playoff team, and that's because they have to sustain 16, 17 games to win the national championship. The hardest job in college football is at Ohio State to coach here because of the scrutiny and the pressure that the fans put on. How does it feel different this year? You asked him, hey, challenge me going into that Tennessee game. What were the conversations heading into this one and the rematch against Oregon? The Buckeyes have arrived in Atlanta to face Notre Dame for the third consecutive year, this time for the national championship. How about a 52-yard touchdown to break the freshman rushing record of two-time Heisman winner Archie Griffin? Immediately, you saw the emotions. Ryan Day in his post-game press conference with tears in his eyes. He knows he disappointed Buckeye Nation and his players. Cody Simon apologizing to the fans, saying, I disappointed you. Donovan Jackson has said he's been getting a lot of practice giving motivational speeches with all the rotations at left guard, the position he's played for the past 3 seasons. Moving Donovan Jackson over from guard to play a position he has not played since high school. So why not get your first start in a top 5 matchup on the road against a powerful Penn State pass rush? We kept hearing about the Ducks, even with Nebraska coming in. That was a slower game, but going into Penn State, getting that momentum, was there a big shift that you felt at practice and within the Woody Hayes Athletic Center?
Yeah, there was a big shift, definitely.
They will be playing in your typical football stadium. In fact, it's not even a football stadium. The Buckeyes head to Wrigley Field, the home of the Chicago Cubs.